Welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I have done all the stuff that I need to do in regards to selling and stuff like that, and I've also set up the hotbars down here. Now, we do need to level up our companions that we haven't leveled up yet, so I think we are going to do that first and foremost. Also, I would like to give a little warning in advance in regards to my main character. I am going to have to respec him as well. He is going to be focusing on something as weird as great axes, because apparently there is a very, very good great axe that we will find in Threshold. So, yeah. But that is not for a while yet. I will just stick to this build for now. Let me see here. We have Sela, who needs one level up. We are going to take the mythic ability first. That will be inspirational leader. And now I'm going to have to click this all the time. As for her level, it will of course be a paladin. We'll take knowledge, world, perception, and mobility. Her feat, that should be improved critical. And scimitar. Her mercy should be cursed. Sela also has a pet, but I'll go through the pets afterwards. So I'll expand the pets that need to be leveled up so that I don't forget to level them up. Otherwise, I'm very prone to do that. Next up, in my order of companions here, we have Peps, I believe. Yep. We'll take the mythic first. And I think we're going to take Ascendant Element and Fire. Can no longer be prevented by or reduced by energy resistance or energy immunity. So the only way that can be fire spells can be countered, I suppose, by enemies from Peps now is if they actually have spell resistance, which is a problem, especially late game. And his level, that is level 9. We have the usual skills to level up here. And his feat should be meta magic. And I think bolster. Extend might be useful too, but I think bolster is the most useful for him since he does more direct damage spells than any other types of spell. We are going to continue on control fireball for now. As for his level 2 spell, we are going to take glitter dust, if I can find it. There it is. Level 3, we are going to go with displacement, I believe. See, invisibility communal might also be useful. Yeah, we're going to go with C, invisibility communal, instead of displacement. We do have true seeing, but this one is just... I don't think I have anyone who casts that yet. Our level 4 spell on level 9 should be Dimension Door. Then we have Social, who mythic level we are going to take Impossible Domain. And I have to sneeze. Sorry about that. And the domain we're going to take is Nobility. I guess I'm allergic towards Nobility. And yeah, that's his mythic ability. As for his level, that is quick and easy on a cleric. His feet should be outflank, since we got Boon Companion on level 7. That's Social out of the way. Who do we have next here? Ember. Ember's level 3 mythic ability should be improved abundant casting. As for her level up, we are going to continue on Stigmatized Witch. Take these 4 skills. Her feat should be Spell Penetration. And then level 2 spell. What do we have here? Scorching Ray is the final one that I got on her. I think we can take Web. We do have Selective Spell on her, so... Level 3 spell. We have Cure Sirius and Stinking Cloud, so we'll take Remove Curse. Level 4 spell. We only have a narration here, so the other one we'll take is Confusion. That's Ember out of the way. And that means Nenio is next. Who, of course, will have improved abundant casting. Then for her level, we'll take... Is level 9? Yes, good. We'll continue on these. As for her level 9 feat, we are going to take Skill Focus. This is kind of silly, but it is a requirement for what we want on the next level. We can take either Arcana or World. I think we're going to take Arcana. As for her level 3 spells... No, we can take up to level 5 spells now, okay. Well, then we do want to take Phantasmal Web. And we also want Icy Prison. And then the final one to level up is Arugale. Or Aru, as I like to call her. Mythic level 1, we are going to take Cleaving Shot. Mythic level 2, we are going to take Deadly Aim, Mythic. And Mythic level 3, we are going to take Distracting Shots. As for her 9th level, we are just going to keep her as a pure ranger espionage expert. And just go with the... Yeah, I can actually take her instead of Camellia. Well... Since that means I don't have to have Camellia in the group, I must confess that is very tempting. Weapon focus... longbow? Yeah, that is so tempting that I'm going to go with it, actually. That means I need to gear her up. Jonathan, level 9. Feat here should be Seize the Moment. Greyhound, level 4. Then we need 1 point into intelligence. Level 5. I respect this pet, didn't I? Level 5. We have taken combat reflexes, so shake it off. Level 6. Level 7. Outflank. Level 8. That's 1 point in dexterity. And level 9. And that should be seize the moment. And then I believe we also have to level up Arakel. Level 9 on Arakel should be seize the moment. As you can see, we are starting to get some characters with this feat now. Okay, that is the leveling up taken care of. 2 seconds, please. There we go. Sorry about that. What we want to do first and foremost is go into the citadel. A middle-aged paladin with a genial face salutes you. His sparse grey hair stands in fuzzy tufts on his head, giving him a distinctly unwarlike appearance. Everbright Crusaders reporting for duty. My name is Siar Kobelen, and I am at your service. Queen Galfrey is gathering the main attack forces in Erosian. She ordered us to replenish the losses suffered in Kenabris and come here. We will support your troops. A tall, dark-eyed lad is standing behind Siar. He passionately echoes Siar's words. We are ready to go to the front immediately. Allow us to be at the spear of the attack. The old Crusader calls the young man to order. Morveg, don't speak unless spoken to. Don't worry, nobody will be defeating any demons without you. Siar smiles kindly and tussles the boy's hair. Who have you brought with you? Everbright Crusaders mainly, but we have a lot of volunteers who joined us. Those who arrived at the Queen's Call didn't want to sit in Erosian waiting for the main army to set off. All the hotheads know that the front is here. Siar nods at the boy behind him, the one who's eager to fight. We picked up this one too. He walked to Kenabris with an old sword in his hand and a few copper coins in his pocket. He was going to keep walking to kill the demons. And then he would probably have led siege to Threshold, no doubt. The boy's cheeks go pink at the old man's gentle mockery, but he continues to stare ahead resolutely and boldly. Did you fight in Kenabris? How are things there? Not personally, no. The Queen summoned me and the bulk of our order to Nerosian. Almost all those who remained behind in Kenabris died, and the ones that didn't were disorganized and leaderless. But the order did not perish. New volunteers have been pouring into our ranks. We are licking our wounds. Kenabris is rebuilding. Life wins out. People are coming from all over Avistan to help. Many are joining up with the Crusaders, just as it happened back in the First Crusade. Great. Well, you will be serving under my command. The Crusader gives you a friendly smile. It's an honor for us, Commander. Let's give the demons a dusting. Let's ask Anevia about these 3 things. Have you figured out how the demons have been sneaking up on us? Anevia answers with scarcely concealed irritation. No dice. Our scouts crawled all over the area, down every hole. Nothing. The grey road was completely empty, and then, bam, a whole army popped up like a jack-in-the-box. My only lead is a few scouts who didn't come back from the gorges to the southwest. But we've found no sign of secret paths or underground passageways, and definitely no route we can use to quietly move a large force through. But I feel it in my gut. There is some evil scum out there. We just have to look harder. Of course, I could send out more scouts, but they might just disappear like the first ones. Why don't you go there yourself and find out what's what? Anevia punches her fist into her palm. You know, I'd like to give that rat Nura a good shake. How long was she serving the demons, I wonder? I'd bet a good silver if I turned her upside down and shook her as hard as I could. Something interesting would fall out. Not just lice. What do you think of my new powers? Anevia looks at you with a tinge of embarrassment. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm not brown-nosing here, but you were the commander the Crusade needed. Righteous, good, and with justice in their heart. Sometimes you look up at these high and mighty true believers and their perfectness makes you want to throw up. But I don't get that from you. I'd jump into the jaws of a demon for you. A slightly different answer than when I asked her the same question when I had chosen the Lich path, strangely enough. Did you find out anything about where Minago is now? Anevia shakes her head sharply. Nope. Zero. Zilch. A whole lot of nothing. The scum melted into thin air. Soldiers saw her jump out the window, run through the square in front of the citadel, and suddenly disappear. I haven't heard anything from her since, and I don't like it. I'm telling you, this is bad. First of all, her kind don't just give up. We can't see her. It means she's setting a trap for us somewhere we won't expect. I mean, it would be great if the demon lords just gobbled her up for all her failures, but I think that's too much to hope for. But that's not the worst part. We have a more interesting question, you know. I wonder how she teleported from the city, if by that time you'd already hung the banner. The soldiers are saying it probably wasn't in full force by then, but you and I both know that's dross. She wasn't supposed to be able to teleport, but she did. The question is, how? Thank you, Anevia. Alright, you watch yourself now. Irabeth. I'm not going to give her the sword just yet. We need to talk about what happened during the attack on Dresden. Irabeth nods curtly. Yes, I was shamefully faint-hearted. Praise Iomade it didn't affect the course of the battle. Still, my behavior was unworthy of a knight, even less a commander. Under the circumstances, leaving my position would be tantamount to desertion. Still, as your advisor, I strongly recommend you release me from my position as head of the Order, strip me of my knighthood, and send me to serve in the Condemned. We should be able to pass this easily. Unless, of course, we roll a 1, which the game is wont to do for me. Few deserve these titles more than you. Don't blame yourself. Under the circumstances, you did everything possible, and more besides. Thank you, Commander. The gratitude in Irabeth's voice is sincere. A spark of enthusiasm appears in her eyes, which had grown dull over recent weeks. The half-orc salutes you sharply. For a moment, you once again see the Irabeth who was ready to protect the defender's heart to her dying breath. Thank you for still trusting me, more than anyone else does in this crusade, even more than I trust myself. Despite your words, Irabeth obviously still feels unworthy of her commander's rank. Changing her mind will require more than platitudes. Perhaps you can bolster her by appointing her to a position where she can work more closely with the rank-and-file soldiers, those whose faith in their commander remains undimmed. I'll see you later, Irabeth. Irabeth says goodbye with a short bow. Or bow. Now, we can manage the Crusade from here, which is good. We have to do that as well, I'm afraid. There is a lot of demon armies going on around in the area around here. We also have various events, decrees, rank ups, developments, relics, and some other things. Like Irabeth here, we can do this, which will help her. All of these have different stat abilities. We have 4 of them: leadership, logistics, diplomacy, and military. Military is going to be a minor problem for me, and I'm probably going to have to cheat the experience of that up, because since I'm just cheating in the armies, we're not getting any experience in military whatsoever, as you can see, compared to the other 3 stats here. So, yeah. Let's have a look at the events. We have an important inspection. A group of officials from Nerosian is on its way to Dresden. They want to inspect how well the Crusade is organized. What kind of welcome should they deserve? Or receive? We can give them a cold welcome. that will give us 4,000 leadership experience. A Lavish, that will give us 30 finance point income increase. We can show them how things are, which will also give us a 30 point finance point income increase and also 3,000 diplomacy experience. Or we could bring them to the front lines, which would increase finance income and add 600 military experience points. I think we'll actually bring them to the front lines. Sela escorted the committee to the front lines where the pampered bureaucrats were forced to learn of the hardships of military life firsthand. Having gotten caught up in a surprise attack and personally witnessed the demon's brutality, the inspectors swore to supply the army with everything it may need, and do so diligently. And now we have a misunderstanding. A special messenger from Galfrey was delivering a missive to Dresden and ran into a sentry patrol by accident. Alas, the soldiers took the messenger for an enemy and attempted to search him, which ran contrary to the messenger's instructions. The sentries were killed, and the messenger has arrived in Dresden, now awaiting the commander's judgment. We can say that he did everything by the book. That will reduce the Crusade morale, but add some logistics experience points. We can say that he committed a crime, which will increase the Crusade morale and deduct logistics experience points. Or we can accuse his superior officers, which will both add leadership experience points, increase the Crusade morale, and deduct some logistics experience points. This one is the most natural one for us, so we will accuse his superior officers here. The Queen's servants think they have the right to kill Crusaders. Social blamed the officers from the capital for this tragedy, claimed that the messenger was given poor instructions, and publicly demanded that the crown compensates the families of the deceased. This act has strengthened the commander's authority. That's the events we had to deal with. Now we have decrees. There are a lot of them here. We can rank up the Logistics Council. That takes 1 day. Before we do that, I just want to check the other ones. We can also do an outpost to Bastion expansion, but we need more material and energy points for that. We also need more outposts to be dealt with. Relics, we have 4 relics. The Fate of Soulshare. Note that we don't have enough resources for this, but this requires diplomacy. Unholy Symbol of Rovagug. Phylactery of Stevanius the Rotten, and Fate of the Crest of the Fallen Knight. All of these take diplomacy and 5 days to solve here, and there's usually a follow-up to them as well. I have a list of what items we will get out of these, and I don't expect us to do all of these. Under Other, we have the Orders to Erebeth, which is 7 days to solve, military. We have the Lost Scouts, which I think we actually have to do as quickly as possible. This is logistics as well. And then Studying the Sword of Valor, which takes 14 days and also is a logistics spell or ability. What I want to do is to form a logistics council first with logistics, and then we'll do the Lost Scouts after that. So let's rank up our logistics and issue this decree. There is nothing else that I want to do right now. Well, actually, let's just have a quick look at these. So the ones we have are Stevanius the Rotten. That'll give us Scythe. Crest of the Fallen Knight. That will give us short sword. Soulshare. I'm actually not sure what that does. Rovagug will give us a Great Axe. 1,100. Yeah, we need to deal with these. We need more income here. Definitely need more income here. But we will do the Unholy Symbol of Rovagug. Then we also have to deal with our... No, game. Okay, I don't think we can do anything with Canarbrus itself. No. We'll just start out down here and enter. This is the Gargoyle Canyon. We need to build stuff here. We definitely need to buy some of this. Okay, so what we want to primarily focus on behind here is income. So we'll do an inn, supply center. I will also do a watchtower. Then we have the Villareth Ford's outpost. We'll do the same here. In supply center and watchtower. Then we have Hamlet of Sork. We'll do the exact same thing here as well. We need more material points. In supply center and watchtower. And then finally we have the Keeper's Canyon, if I can manage to actually click it. Okay, let's move the army then. And we'll do the same here as well. An inn, a supply center, and a watchtower. We might want to have a citadel here, but I don't think so, because I think we are going to push on in that direction far enough that it shouldn't be a problem. I also want to keep an army in this area. Now, we did get a couple of new armies here. This one here. And this one here. I am just going to dismiss these. We'll get another army up soon enough though, because we need that. Okay, this army we can bring up this way. And then this way. And we can head down here. We have to fight these things as well. What is that? Plagued horses, huh? That's that out of the way. Having buried those who died from the plague, warriors search the place and find a small grave where Sir Doland Regilor, a hero of the Second Crusade, rests in peace. 4 energy points income per day. Then we can take this fort. Nice and easy, of course, as it's supposed to be. He leveled up. We'll give him Zealous Student, I think. That also gives us a new outpost here. Let's go that way, and then Crusader army 1. The Hell Knight should be able to deal with the rocks, but then again we got an extra shot there, so... One more energy point daily income, very good, and a level up. I think we'll take Master of Maneuver 3 since we don't get the extra experience point thing. Let's take out this army. I've always found that question interesting. Nabazu. Ugh. Oh, we got a second shot again. Good. We found the Edge of Force. It's a nice dagger. This is also a good way for me to scout out the area. I do so love it when I get additional shots on my rangers. We found Braces of Heavy Hand. That's not exactly a bad item. 2 movement points left. Right. Then we have our final army, which we do need to assign a general to. Offensive training. Yeah, we're going to go with Baroness Gaunthor. The traps, I really don't like the traps. There we go, and you can head up this way. Take out these tiny armies. $2,000 finance points. That kind of repays half what we paid for her. Mm-hmm. Well then. Found Chill Roar's Hidden Tusks. I think that is one of those items we can research. And also Belt of Giant Strength +4. Nice. She also leveled up. We'll give her Bless, I think. And yeah, thank you. Master of Maneuver 1. That means we can have an additional unit here. One more level, actually. Cure Wounds. None of these can... was the word I was looking for. 5 material points daily income. Very good. Okay, so we're done with that. Now I need to just have a quick look at Aru so that I can kit her up with what I want her to have. She has very little at the moment. Does someone else use a longbow? Yeah, you're using a keen composite, whereas you're just using a composite. So I think we'll give Peps the entrapping. You can see here, this is 3 to 10 damage, whereas she, as an archer specialist, is 13 to 20. Peps has 1 attack at +8, 3d10, 3 to 10. She has 13, 13, 8, 30 to 20. So yeah, it does help to be an actual archer. We'll unequip this, and then we'll equip it. Wait, no, that's a composite short bow. We don't want her to use that. But I don't think Peps has any specialization in longbow, so might as well give him this. Although I think he just gets 1 attack regardless. But the ability there, not that he's going to do a critical hit very often. I'm pretty sure I haven't given any speciality into longbow. Yeah, we'll just go with that, but I'm not done. Okay, Camellia, you have lots of items. It was a pleasure, Camellia, but you're no longer useful. As for armor for Aru, we could... She does have a leather armor +2. She doesn't have very much strength. I think the unbending armor is better with that damage resistance. We could, of course, give her a mithril chainmail. But I do believe that this one is better for the damage resistance it offers. We are going to give her the Conman's Ring, which will put her at 23 trickery and perception. She's really good at that, even without the ring. A Ring of Protection +2. The Belt of Incredible Dexterity, of course. An Amulet of Natural Armor. Cloak of Resistance. This one I think would be most fitting on... Do I have anyone who wields a two-handed... The only one that I have that is dual wielding is Camellia, actually. Well, she's not the only one, but she's the only one that we're dual wielding. Sela is using a sword, or scimitar and board. So I guess we'll give these bracers to Regil. Aru looks a little bit better kitted out now. Okay, off we go. We are going to look for Woljif. There are a couple of quests. The Dragon Hunt there, and From a Dead Woman's Hands over here. Not sure what this one is, actually. But I think we're just going to leave the city. So Camellia, you are out. Let's see. We are going to have Lan, Arushale, Peps, and Wally. Ugh. Sila. We need Sila. Lan, Arushale, Peps, Wally. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be using Peps. I'm noticing that it is more helpful to have a second spellcaster with healing magic rather than damage. We have plenty of damage in our group as is, especially with all the animal companions. And of course, bringing either Social or Darren will both give us an additional animal companion, which is not something to scoff at. So I'm afraid Peps will be mostly left behind. So we're going to head on south. And that should be the first random encounter to get Woljif back. I can still fight. Quick, tie him up. It's the Crusaders! The Crusaders are here. The Crescent of the Abyss must be informed. Cowards. I also need to look through the buffs again because they are not correct anymore. Now, we did get Angel Spell, so I do have the Bolt of Justice now, but I don't think I'm going to waste that on these peons. A Fireball, on the other hand. Yep, that does it.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
I don't even want to bother with a haste spell here. Peps, you could also cast a Fireball, and I really need to clean up your hotbar. Rapid shot and deadly aim, that's fine.
I will resist.
It's not often you see fireballs actually be that useful.
You won't survive me.
And again, it's not often you just fight random chaff like this. Now they're starting to have glaive +1. You know what? I can just do this. Did kill a couple of Crusaders here, I see. Good. Now we need to follow them southwards. Hopefully this is the second encounter. Yep.
Can't hide from me. Uh-huh.
Haru, if you would be so kind.
I will prove my worth. This
You
is
have
where
very
I
high stealth,
shine.
don't you? Whoa, 24, yeah.
I sense something.
She's like almost insane. Lan has just 2 more perception than her.
I finished here. Is there more? Something is not right here.
She also has a lovely voice.
I'm glad I was useful to you.
She has some stuff against demons, don't she? Because she's a ranger. Where is that? Favorite enemy, humans. Well then. Oops, I need to make sure that this is correct, which it is. They don't seem to be happy to see me. Woljif rises from the stone throne and halts the sacrifice with a raised hand. The cultist holding the knife over the victim on the altar stops. Woljif is wreathed in blue flame and the demonic shadow rises up behind him. Easy now. We're all friends here. This was just a little misunderstanding. You thought you'd come across Crusaders, but they are a big fan of our Lord's Baphomet too. Woljif half turns to you, his right eye twitching, which you interpret as an attempt to wink discreetly. Ain't that right? Yeah, misunderstanding. Hail Baphomet? Or, no, not wordlessly. Woljif's face lights up. Right, exactly. Pilgrims of the Worldwound, meet the finest member of our big family. Hey there, Chief. Long time no see. Why don't we hold off on the sacrifice for now? We need to drink to this happy meeting. Am I right? Yeah, let's do that. Tie that one on the altar up again. We'll get round to slaughtering it later. The cultists exchange looks and whispers. The chief cultist lowers his knife. If the Crescent of the Abyss says so, then welcome. Make yourselves at home in the temporary camp of the pilgrims of the Worldwound. But why did you attack our brothers? Well, Woljif, why did we attack our brothers? Because, the chief sometimes has these fits of insanity and battle rage. It's a blessing from Lord Baphomet. The chief goes crazy. He goes crazy and gets twice as strong as normal. But if the blessing kicks in at the wrong moment, well, that's just bad luck for you. I've had to get away from the crazed chief a few times, so I know what I'm talking about. The cultists cast a wary glance at your weapon, but passes no remarks. It is good that the Crescent of the Abyss, our beacon in the darkness, and our oracle has resolved this misunderstanding. Relax, friends, and after, if you wish, you may join in our pilgrimage. Aha. This large stone with candles is covered with Baphomet symbols. It seems that the cultists use it for an altar. Can I take things without them getting hostile? Yeah, I can. And I shall. What's up with this stone throne abyss? Why are you going up there, Quad? The stone throne that the cultists erected for Woljif does not look very comfortable. The man you saw on the altar is now tied up on the ground, his head hanging down. He's young, but his brown hair is prematurely peppered with grey. His expensive but practical clothes are stained and worn. The man's pale cheeks have developed a scraggly beard over his time in captivity. The prisoner looks up at the sound of your footsteps. His eyes reveal nothing but weariness. You're not one of them. Only idiots who are desperate to believe everything they hear would fall for Woljif's lie. Did Woljif order that you be sacrificed? The prisoner looks at you in surprise. Woljif? Oh no. In my better days I wouldn't have let a tiefling like him set foot in my house. I wouldn't have guessed at the wonders of generosity he was capable of. But fate has led us here, and I'm glad to have him as a companion. I despised him as first, but then I realized he was just as much a prisoner here as myself. In turn, he seemed to develop sympathy for me. At least he always tried to stave off my death, and he entertained me with his tall tales at night. I even grew accustomed to his ghastly street parlance. I should be grateful to Woljif, but... The prisoner shuts his eyes. I'm tired. Death has drawn close so many times and then retreated again that now I would welcome it. Even death would be better than the waiting. Who are you? Devil WotR. The man's voice sounded hollow and detached. Nobleman, Crusader, livestock waiting to be slaughtered. And how did you end up here? The Crusader's eyes stare into the distance. Solely through my own foolishness. Because of my inability to fight like a man, I thought the Crusade would be the best way to make my mark on history. I dreamt of the glory, of the respect that would be otherwise denied me as the third son of a noble family. When an officer laughed at my skills and called me an ignorant interloper, how right he was. Fate has a twisted sense of humor. My more experienced comrades died in this cursed place, one after another, but I survived. There were only 5 of us left in the end. Our hubris was gone, we were jumping at every shadow, and we still weren't cautious enough. I was the only one who survived after we were attacked in the night. I should have realized what was happening when the lookout went missing. Well, I will make sure that you are freed. The prisoner inclines his head courteously. Thank you, but that is impossible while the pilgrims of the Worldwound are here. They will not just stand by while I escape. Well, we'll see about that. The prisoner lowers his head again. Thank you. If you happen to meet my parents or members of the WotR family, tell them that I died in the wound, facing Iomade. Nah. Woljif is waiting for you next to the altar, wearily wiping the sweat from his brow. Phew! I thought I was done for. Could feel it in my tail that they were gonna kill me. If you ain't a sight for sore eyes, Chief. When I heard that the gargoyles hadn't got you, and that you were running to the Sorry, let me just start that again. When I heard that the gargoyles hadn't got you, and that you were running the show up at Dresden now, I can't tell you how happy that made me. But that night it all happened, I tell you, I was so scared I couldn't see straight. I wandered around, wondering if my chief and the rest of the gang were lying in an open field with their eyes pecked out. Woljif sighs. Even my conscience prickled a little, thinking about how I ran. But when you look at it from my side, what else was I supposed to do? The actual paladins were getting cut down left, right and center. And then these pilgrims of the Worldwound tell me that Dresden's been reclaimed, that there's a new commander called Cal. Well, I said to myself, there can't be 2 demon-slaying dynamos with that name. It must be you. So I cut my way through the circles around Dresden and I waited for you to come out. At one point, I got so desperate I almost went right up to the city walls, but I thought better of it. Although an arrow in the skull would be a sight better than running in fear of Votiel. Woljif sucks in a breath and keeps talking in a rush, like he's afraid you'll turn around and walk out. Do you know WotR? I don't either, but I remember the name because of what Brother Melbrown yelled in the basement at that time. I'm going to tell Hepsamira and WotR, or something like that. Anyway, my shadow told me that WotR is that demon, and I should be scared of him because he's after the moon of the abyss, but the shadow's a whole other story. But if you want to know why I haven't just come to Dresden, I need your help. It's a matter of life and death, Chief. Remind me why I shouldn't just kill all these cultists here and now? Because Woljif looks around and lowers his voice to a conspiratorial whisper. They will still be useful to us if you decide to help me. And thanks for not trying to kill him as soon as you got here, by the way. Their leader is a nervous sort. He would have definitely stabbed the lad on the altar if you had caused the fuss. They think if they perform all these sacrifices, Baphomet's going to appear and hand out powerful spells like candy. Slow down, you're not making sense. What's going on here? Woljif lets out a breath. Okay, I'll shut up. I mean, I won't shut up, but ask me what you want to know and I'll tell you. What was that? That was my cunning plan, Chief. Woljif's tail is whipping back and forth so fast it's a blur. Why are you pretending to be a cultist? Woljif raises his hands defensively. Easy there, Chief. I'm no cultist, and I didn't just ask you to play along for the fun of it. I had a reason, I swear. And it's not because I've seen what you're like in a fight, and I know I've no chance against you. Why did you run the night we fought the gargoyles? Run? Me? I fought them, I did. You should have seen me. I got one right on the nose, sent it arse over tea kettle, and it flew off. I've gotten into scrapes a fair few times before, been caught by surprise in the dead of the night more times than I can count. So that's why I leapt up quick as anything, grabbed my knives, and... well, of course I made a run for it. What else was I gonna do? I'm just a thief, a city boy. I don't go toe-to-toe with demons. Sure, I said I'd help you and all, but that was before. I did not sign up for nighttime gargoyle attacks. What kind of idiot attacks in the middle of the night? I thought war would keep more civilized hours, to be honest. Wrong again. So apologies, Chief, but I always end up on the winning side. It's just my nature. You and your lot in the camp that night did not have the look of victory about you. And it's not like I'd have been of much help if a gargoyle snatched me in its claws. Of course I decided to run, and run I did. Not too impressed by that, but okay. What is your relationship with these Baphomet cultists? Woljif looks pensive. It's complicated? It's a story of unrequited love, really. They love me, and all I think about is how to get away from them and save my own skin. Exactly how did you end up with them? Same way I end up anywhere. I was walking and walking, and then here I was. Oh, I should mention at this point, my shadow, you know it? Well, it started talking. At first I was so scared, I thought there was someone growling behind me. But then I listened closely, and it was my shadow. It only got out a few words, but I heard the name WotR, and I learned that he's a demon, and that he wants my moon of the abyss for some reason. And then I learned which direction he was looking for me in. When I heard that, I turned around and went the other way. I'm not an idiot. Those pilgrims of the Worldwound clubbed me round the head, and I woke up, and they were already dragging me to the altar. I said to them, "Brothers, don't drag me to the altar. I have a proposition for you, one you won't want to miss." But they paid no attention and kept dragging me. In the end, I had to show them my party piece. They saw my shadow and dropped to their knees, just like that. I put them a line about how I can speak directly to Baphomet through it, and they lapped it right up. And that's why I'm still alive. And this talking your shadow is doing, what's that about? Not just any shadow, my special shadow. After I spent a while running around the Worldwound, scared out of my wits, it suddenly crept out and whispered in this distant-sounding voice. "WotR, north, dear WotR." And the name was familiar, because that's what Brother Melbrown yelled out, and I put two and two together. This WotR was in the north, and I needed to make sure he didn't find me. Bit by bit, I got the Shadow to tell me that WotR was a demon, and that he was looking for the Moon of the Abyss. Who knows why? By the way, I have a couple thoughts of my own about the moon. I'll tell you about them once we're out of this mess. And what exactly do you want from me now then? In a nutshell, Chief, I've got a bit of a situation here. One wrong move and I'm a goner. The demon WotR is in the vicinity somewhere. A good man has suffered. The cultists are animals. I just want to get out of this and make WotR back off, but without you, I've no chance. Help me. I won't forget it for as long as I live. Who is WotR? All I know is that he's the demon that sent Brother Mel round to get the Moon of the Abyss. Now that I have the moon, WotR's after me. I'm already tired of running from him. He is gonna catch me soon. I can feel it. And exactly what part are the cultists playing in this plan of yours? Woljif glances around, making sure you are not overheard. Do you know why they call themselves the Pilgrims of the Worldwound? Because they're itching to meet big-name demons like Baphomet. It's like they're on a pilgrimage. So that got me thinking. Since they listen to me, we can lead them to WotR and mess with their heads a bit. Say that Baphomet's been calling him nasty names and let the cultists fight WotR for us? It'll be a riot. Cultists helping us take out a demon? Well, what do you think? And this good man you're talking about? Me, of course. Woljif folds his arms. I'm a prisoner here, you know. And I suppose there's also the other fella, Devil, the one that's tied up. I kinda owe him one. I made a dumb mistake and now he's paying for it. Now, don't get me wrong, I couldn't care less about the guy. He got himself into this mess. Except if it wasn't for me, they maybe wouldn't have caught him in the first place. These pilgrims kept asking me, will we have long to wait for the favours of Lord Baphomet? As though just because I have my shadow, I should know. What am I, some kind of demon whisperer? I just put on a kind of knowing air and say to him, do as you have been doing and the favours will come. They took that to mean that they needed to keep cutting people up on the altar. I tried to put them off the idea, but they didn't listen. I acted like I was discussing things with my shadow, and I kept trying to hold them off, saying that the stars weren't in alignment, that raining eyeballs was bad omen. I'd run out of ideas just before you showed up, Chief. I was already considering just letting them do it. He was a Crusader after all, you know. Demons would probably get him in the end either way. It's not my fault that's how they do things. It was either him or me. Woljif sighs and turns away. His tail is twitching from side to side in agitation. There is one way to get both of us out, but I can't manage it on my own. I need your help. All right, I'll help you deal with WotR. Woljif's face lights up and the tip of his tail dances through the air. I always knew we were a special sort, Chief. Let's go break his horns off. We need to go to a patch of scrubland by a bend in the river. It's not far. I'll show you. Nothing interesting about the place at all, but that's where I was when my shadow came out and started pushing me back the other way. It said that WotR would find me easily there, that he'd swoop in and tear me limb from limb as soon as I popped up. I wasn't long turning away from that place, I tell you. There's just one other thing. We need to round up my lackeys and send them off on an errand. While they're gone, we can free the prisoner. No point leaving him here to be bored stiff, right? Listen up, brothers, sisters. The shadow has spoken. It says that a demon will come to a secret place, a wasteland where there are almost no trees left, next to a bend in the river. We once passed by there, but we took a wrong turn and didn't find it. Glorious day. Before we set off, I say we make the sacrifice. I say let's hold off on the sacrifice, and time's a wasting and demons are busy, you know. Leave your things and go. I must meditate before such an event, and when I'm all meditated out, I'll come and summon the demon to you. Commander, a moment of your time. The young Crusader cautiously gets to his feet, unable to believe that he is finally free. At last the day has come when those odious faces will no longer be looming over me. The cultists hid my weapons and armor somewhere. I will find them and then take my leave of this place forever. They're over there with the rest of the stolen stuff. I made sure they didn't go walkies in the night. I hoped you'd make it out of this somehow. Thanks to your efforts, Woljif. Go, time is of the essence. If there is a demon hunting you, better to lure him into a trap and strike first. What are you planning to do now? Find my armor and weapons, find something to eat, and then leave this place as quickly as possible. The Crusader looks ahead with grim determination. Perhaps I will die in the wound, but I will die with a sword in my hands, not like an animal at a slaughterhouse. And if I do make it out, I shall build a temple in Iomede's honor in my hometown. You're rich enough to build a temple if you fancy it? You're complaining that your parents don't give you enough money. I think we have slightly different conceptions of what counts as enough money. In any case, money is no longer a concern of mine. My life and my legacy belongs to the goddess who sent you and the commander to my aid. All right then. Well, farewell and good luck. May Iomede keep you. And yeah, we can have Woljif back in the party right away. But I rather think I want to go back to Dresden and take him into the party up there instead. So we can level him up and kit him out. We really don't need 2 archers in our party, but at the same time, Aru is really powerful on those skills, and she is going to be a very, very good archer. The only thing is that Woljif with his sneak attacks are... well, he's going to be better, so it's a tough call, this one. But he's a few levels behind, so... we'll do this for now. I think we have looted everything that's... or anything of mention here. So, yeah. Area exit, that's fine. Oh, the companions, of course. But I think we'll wrap it up here. I'm going to travel back to Dresden now. We have another quest, which is actually time sensitive. The demon sneaking out or doing ambush attacks on us. So we have to do that next. Oh, there's a demon army approaching. Ah, that's far enough away. I don't want to rest. I want to go to Dresden instead. So we are going to have to do that as soon as possible. But just in case someone is going to talk to me here, I am going to load in. That's a long loading time. But nobody is talking to us. Good. So I need to look over Woljif. We will level him up in the next episode. And I'll have a look at comparing him... well, 18 trickery, 21 stealth. Aru has 23, and that's with the bonus items. I wonder if it's actually going to be better since, well, no, maybe. We'll see. We'll have a look at it in the next episode. If you have any questions and or comments, then please do feel free to leave those in the comment section as always. And I hope that you enjoyed the episode and that you will join me in the next one.